In today's video, I will be bringing you insightful story of how my life as a videographer came about. Well, for those of you who don't know me, I am Director Nkafu from Nkafu Production, and I've been in the field of video production for almost 3 years now. And these 3 years have been years of great achievement, great learnings, and I've met a lot of people within these 3 years of me building my career as a videographer. Yes, I do photography as well. I actually transitioned from photography to videography. And that is why I'm seated here today to talk to you. See, there is something I need you to understand. You can actually master both of them and be a master of both of them. Trust me. If you can understand how photos are being taken, then you will understand how videos should be taken. If you, by the end of this video, cannot find a better decision on what you truly want to be, then feel free to jump into our bio and hit the link over there to join our masterclass where we will be dishing out those amazing secrets that you truly need to be a master of both photography and videography. It is not a science thing to think about. It's not from out of space. If you own a camera, then you should be able to create amazing video content and great photography content as well. Why? Because these two things actually tie a lot. Trust me, these two things actually tie a lot. Shutter speed in camera is the same for photography and for videography. Aperture in camera is the same for photography and for videography. ISO is the same for photography and for videography. The only difference is that photography might use continuous and flashlight, but videography only need continuous light. That's the only difference. Trust me, a part of this thing, there is no difference between taking photos and taking video. It's only the fact that photography can actually work with flashlight system, but videography will not actually work that way. Videography will only go with continuous light. So what am I trying to say here? I am trying to entice you to know that if you have a camera, you can be both a photographer and a videographer. Do not limit your skills. But what I can urge you is try to create a separate portfolio where in one portfolio you post only your photography genres and on the other ones you post only your videography top output. When you have a client who is looking for a videographer, you pitch your portfolio to the client. You have a client who is looking for a photographer, you pitch your portfolio for that client. Trust me, it's not a bad idea. It's an amazing idea because once you have mastered both of them, you are very much better than someone who only thinks that he knows one field only. It's due to laziness. That's why somebody will come and tell you, no, I'm only a photographer. No, I'm only a videographer. Trust me. And the most difficult thing in videography is actually lighting a set. Okay. And that is the same with photography in its own way. But if you have this beautiful lighting setup in photography, you can actually pitch that. You can actually convert that into your videography and call yourself a cinematographer. Photographers who use flashlights and other lights are actually cinematographers, but they do not know. A cinematographer actually tells how he wants his shot to look like. Like myself, I'm shooting this video. I actually want this shot to be quite vibrant. And that is why you see my background is mostly in red. Then I have this distracting color over here that is pulling your attention out of the red. The reason why I have this camera here is to separate that red from my monitor, which is showing that advert video, from the background red which you find over here. And I chose to sit at this point of the video because I actually want to be separated from the background. Why? With what? With this beautiful yellow light that you find on my shoulder. This is actually coming from over here. I do have a light source over here that is actually hitting me from the backside, separating me from the background peacefully. And my key light is over here. I do not have any fill light. That's why you can find these dark shadows on the right side of my face. I started as a photographer, but I can actually explain all of these things to you. So to myself, only two light is hitting me. One, the one which is coming here, separating me from the background. The second is my key light, and it's actually a big source of light. That's why you see it filling nicely in through my face. And you see the shadow, the way it's falling like this, and you can see the shadow area here. Look at the point of the shadow. You see, the point of the shadow is here, showing that the light source is coming from this point, hitting my face, and that's why we have this. So we're creating some contrast in the video. That is where you truly have to win. And photographers, they know this. They do create this kind of cinematic shots. Why? Because they are cinematographers. They shape lights. If you're a product photographer, then you know what I'm talking about. If you're an artistic photographer, then you know what I'm talking about when it comes to shaping light. You choose where you want the light to hit the most. You choose how you want the shadows to be. You choose how you want your keel, feel, and whatever light, how you want it to be. So we are all cinematographers. Do not feel discouraged. Learn photography, learn videography, as long as you have a camera that can perform these two things. Yes, unfortunately, some cameras cannot perform up to this stage. An example is the Canon 50D can only be used for photography. If you find yourself in such a situation, then yes, you are limited to learn photography out of that camera because it's going to be used only for photography. But you see this camera here? This is actually a film camera, but trust me, I use this camera for both photography and videography. You might ask me how, why? Yes, because these cameras are actually designed for film production and much more. So what these cameras carry as in terms of files are really large and gives you a broader way to work on those files in post. But actually use this camera as well for photography. Don't doubt me because I know exactly what I'm talking about. This camera has a button where you can capture stills. And why do you think you can capture stills? These stills actually help you. I always use them when I'm changing set. I always grab my stills from there. When I'm out doing shoot for music video and so much more, and I find a position that is really pulling my attention, I just hit the grab still, then I capture that still, which I can use as a poster by the end of the day for the music video. I believe this might have been very interesting to you, and trust me, if you want to hear more of this kind of interesting topic from us, feel free to give us a subscribe by hitting the subscribe button down there. We want to hear your comment in the comment section. If you have any question, any concern, or any contribution to this video, we truly want to hear it out. We would love to see you up and love to hear from you as we continue to create content like this. Thank you so much for being with us. If this was grateful, please give us a thumbs up, like the video. Feel free to share with your friends who might also want to learn from it. And we look forward to getting you greater content like this in the future. Peace. Take good care of yourself. I still remain Director Nkafu from Nkafu Production. See you guys.